As you know, Designomics is all about profiting from design. Today we have somebody who has really integrated in his core business strategies design at a conceptual level, design at a craft level. Welcome, Kishore.
Thank you.
You are the big B of the Indian retail scenario, and I believe after reading your book and understanding you more and following a little bit about what you've been doing, that you are truly a spokesperson of how Indian businesses can prosper through using design.
I think early in my business life, I started understanding that design is the only differentiator which you have to differentiate between a product and a service or a thought. And once you create some differentiation, I think demand follows and profit follows and business follows. So design is the only weapon which I have to differentiate myself from my competitors or creating anything new in the country.
Kishore, in fact, that must have been the reason why you went ahead and mentored and even acquired design agencies like Idiom and I think even one in Bombay, DMA Yellow Works. Isn't that true?
I think my belief in multidisciplinary design came in early. I think idea was an inspiration then, and I believed in design. That's why my daughter went and studied design, and I believed in design. That's why we went and mentored few companies now, and we believe design is the way in terms of creating new products, creating new technologies, creating new systems, and creating new businesses. So I think the belief of multidisciplinary design can help to create something new came in early. I think the subject which fascinated me was design management as a subject.
Because I think what you say is that creativity is really first at a strategic level and can obviously come down into craft level. Plus, of course, holistically you're covering various approaches and various skill sets, isn't it?
I think the first design comes out of the thought. We call it thought design. What thoughts you think about, how you visualize it. I think visualization itself is a design. The biggest form of design is nature. So the way it has been crafted, the way it changes, the way it metamorphosizes, or the way it appears in the eyes of us. So the same thing we follow in terms of creating the thoughts. How do you visualize that thoughts emerging? So if you develop a business thought of creating a store, you visualize how it will appear like, how the scenario planning we do on that store, how many customers can come in, how will we execute the whole thing. I think that's the part of our thinking on thought design. So from there the design starts and moves into every space of activity which we do.
I think one of the other things that really came home to me was that you have created great insights from the Indian psyche and used that in creating very successful platforms like the Big Bazaar. And if you can talk a little bit about that format and how successful it became and how it continuously evolves. And I'm sure even as I speak, you're thinking of new things to do there.
I believe personally that whatever we do in this country should be meant for this country. And India is a different country, emerging in a different era, in a different age and time as such. And we have a lot to do. We have been once upon a time one of the thought leaders in the world. But I think we have lost that glory. How can we bring back that glory in terms of whatever we do? So India is a heterogeneous market. It has its own nuances, own idiosyncrasies. And for us, when we designed Big Bazaar, the idea was the Indian markets and not the Western model of hypermarket. So we looked at Indian markets and designed a market in a sense which had chaos, which had a chaotic design feel, which always had the hustle bustle of the market. We created the butt and brush effect of people touching each other, people meeting each other, and it was designed with a lot of Indian sensibilities around. It was designed more for not for a working woman, but for a housewife, as I would say, because I think the power in India lies with the woman who has the keys of the house.
You know, we've talked about design-led thinking, and I've also heard that you're using a lot of mythological principles into this design-led thinking. You want to elaborate a little bit on that?
There is so much which has been recorded in the past. The civilizations have come and many civilizations have come and gone. And whatever has been recorded, how can we use that to understand the current and to use them as a simple model? So mythology as a subject is very interesting because everything in the world has been recorded somewhere. And how do you decode that and how do you use it in modern management or in modern business and in our current life is something which we are trying to decode and apply that into business.
As in a kind of a behavioral science?
I think our leadership model has come out of mythology. our understanding of human beings or humanitics as a subject is now coming out of mythology. And we believe that Indian culture, the why we are the way we are, we can understand and interpret from mythology very, very easily. Because mythology, if you look at mythology, a simple example I'll give you is, we as Indians are very different than the rest of the world. Why are we so different? So if you look at a simple answer, that we are the only one nation which prays to the source. So we respect the source, whether it is water, Ganges, sun, the sun god because it gives power and energy, cow because it gives us milk. So that was living. And if you find a lot of answers to your problems, if you go to the source, you will be able to find a lot of solutions to your problem.
You have gone ahead and said in your book that the yesterday belonged to the MBAs and tomorrow belongs to the designers. Basis that, what is really your message to the world of entrepreneurs in India?
I think entrepreneurship is all about taking risks, taking decisions, and being a person who understands the whole. So the commerce graduate or an MBA will understand one part of the business. The art and the science graduate will understand probably another part of the business. I think what we need is both, and that's what I call design management. I think is the answer to a lot of things. Using both sides of the brain is the answer to many, many things which will come about. You have to understand humanitics, you have to understand history, you have to understand mythology, you have to understand the current, and you have to understand the business processes, the compliances, and the business plan and the resource planning. I think you require everything to do business, not only what MBAs are taught about. So that is also important, but I think with this probably is also more important than that.
And that is truly profiting from design, isn't it? Thank you, Kishore, very much for being on this show. You've really helped with a lot of insights and truly inspirational ones as well. Thank you.
Thank you.